In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the front hydraulic brake hose on your Nissan Armada located behind the front wheels. Let's get started. Using a 21mm socket, we're going to go ahead and remove the lug nuts. Remove the tire. With the wheel out of the way, we can now move behind the rotor. Using a 12mm socket, we're going to remove the banjo bolt. Make sure when you do this, you have a container underneath to catch the fluid that will come out of this. Remove the banjo bolt. You're going to have two crush washers, one on either side. Make sure you remove those because we will be putting new ones when we replace the hose. If you have a valve stem, you can go ahead and shove it into the hole, and this is going to stop the hose from leaking. Now we can go ahead and move to the back of the hose. Now we can go ahead and remove this nut that holds the hose in place. Using a 13mm socket, go ahead and take it out. Slide the hose out. Now we can go ahead and disconnect it from here. I'm going to use a 10mm pipe wrench. When you do this, you want to make sure that the line is moving freely from the nut because you do not want to damage it. Go ahead and crack it loose. And once you have it loose, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to be removing this little clip that holds the line in place. I'm going to go ahead and use a flathead screwdriver. And all I need to do is just wedge it in between and pull it out. Go ahead and slide it out. And now we can finish taking this knot off. I'm gonna go ahead and use a regular 10mm since I already broke it loose. Once you have it free, go ahead and slide the hose off. You might have to wiggle it side to side to break it loose. And here's the old one. Now we can go ahead and install the new one, but first we need to pay attention to the top of it. If you notice, there's going to be a side that has like a little notch. That has to line up with the bracket that's on the vehicle. Go ahead and slide it in. When you do this, you want to make sure that the line is inside the hose. Go ahead and start the threads by hand. Once you bottom it out, I'm going to go ahead and use the pipe wrench. And I'm just going to give it a little bit to make sure that it's nice and secure. Now we're going to use some brake parts cleaner and just spray around this area to get rid of all the fluid. Go ahead and wipe it off. Make sure that it's nice, clean, and free of debris. Now we can go ahead and install the clip. Simply line it up. Once you have the clip in place, I'm going to go ahead and use a rubber mallet just to clip it in. Make sure that it is bottomed out and that it is nice and secure. And so we don't lose any more fluid, I'm going to go ahead and install that valve stem onto this hose. That's going to stop it from leaking. Now we can go ahead and install the hose onto this bracket. Simply line it up. Make sure that you get this part of the hose through this clip. And now we can install the nut. Go ahead and start the nut by hand. And now just get it snug. I'm gonna go ahead and torque it to 25 foot-pounds. Now we can go ahead and remove the valve stem that we previously installed. Go ahead and install the banjo bolt. For this, you want to make sure that you have two crush washers on either side of the hose. It should look something like this. Now you want to pay attention to this little knob. That has to line up with the caliper. So go ahead and install it. Once you have it in, go ahead and snug it up. Now we can go ahead and use some brake parts cleaner and spray the area. Wipe off any excess fluid. Now we can go ahead and torque the banjo bolt to 22 foot-pounds. Now we need to grab and bleed the caliper. I'm gonna be using a small trim tool. Take the cap off. Now using a 10mm wrench, all we need to do is just crack it open. What we're looking for is for a steady stream of fluid, so now we're just gonna wait. This is what we're looking for, so now we can go ahead and close it. Now we're gonna go ahead and use some brake parts cleaner. Wipe off any excess fluid that might be around the caliper. And now go ahead and reinstall the bleeder cap. Before we go ahead and open the cap, we want to make sure that this is free of debris. I'm going to go ahead and use some brake parts cleaner and a rag, and I'm going to go ahead and clean it up. Make sure you clean the cap. And if you notice, it's going to say DOT3. That's what we're going to be using. Now we're going to go ahead and add fluid up to the max line. We're going to go ahead and reinstall the cap. Install the tire. Install the lug nuts by hand. And now go ahead and snug them up in a star-shaped pattern. With the vehicle on the ground, we're gonna go ahead and torque the lug nuts to 98 foot-pounds in a star pattern. Now get in the vehicle, get a feel for the brake pedal. If the pedal feels soft, you will need to do a full brake bleeding procedure, and that'll be your job done. The brake master cylinder is located on the left front of the vehicle. Before we go ahead and open the cap, we want to make sure that this is free of debris. I'm going to go ahead and use some brake parts cleaner and a rag, and I'm going to go ahead and clean it up. Make sure you clean the cap. And if you notice, it's going to say DOT3. That's what we're going to be using. Now we're going to use an extractor pump, and we're going to try to get as much fluid as we can out of the master. Go ahead and slide it in and take some of the fluid out. With this, you want to get as much as you can. And over here I have a container just so I can transfer the fluid onto it. Now we're going to go ahead and add fluid up to the max line. We're going to go ahead and reinstall the cap. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to the right front of the vehicle, followed by the left front. Next, we're going to do the left rear, followed by the right rear of the vehicle. Moving to the right front of the vehicle, we're going to go ahead and bleed the caliper. First thing we need to do is remove the cap from the bleeder. Go ahead and put a 10mm wrench right on the bleeder. And now we're going to install a brake bleeding bottle. Go ahead and install the hose. And make sure that you put the bottle below the caliper. Now we're going to go ahead and have someone in the vehicle. They're going to pump up the brakes for me, and I'm going to crack it open when they hold on to them. Go ahead and pump. When he holds, go ahead and crack open the bleeder. And what you want to see is a steady flow of fluid. We're going to do that a couple times. Go ahead and close it and have him pump again. I'm going to do it one more time. This looks good. So we're going to go ahead and close the valve. Remove the hose. Remove the branch. Using some brake parts cleaner, we're gonna go ahead and clean the bleeder. Wipe it off. And reinstall the cap. The next wheel will be the left front, and it will be the same procedure for that one. Now that you've done the first two calipers, we're gonna go ahead and top off the fluid. Remove the cap. Top it off. Get it back to the max line. Reinstall the cap. And now we can move on to the rear of the vehicle. Moving over to the left rear of the vehicle, we're gonna repeat the process. Remove the cap from the bleeder. Install the brake bleeding bottle. Using the 10mm wrench, go ahead and put it up over the bleeder and then install the hose. For this, we're gonna need the ignition key on and have him pump on the brakes. When the person in the vehicle is holding, we're gonna go ahead and crack open the bleeder. What we wanna see is a steady stream of fluid. We're gonna go ahead and do that one more time. This looks good, so now we can shut the ignition key off. Remove the bleeder hose. Remove the 10mm wrench. Remove our bleeder bottle. Now we can go ahead and use some brake parts cleaner. Clean the bleeder. And reinstall the cap. You will repeat the same process on the right rear of the vehicle. Now we can go ahead and top off the reservoir. Remove the cap. And get it back to the max line. Now go ahead and reinstall the cap. And now we need to torque the wheels to 98 foot-pounds. And that'll be job done.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.